All right, all we're going to do today is finishing up, well, not finishing up, but continuing on through the income tax section. So, we talked about FICA being 7.5% or whatever. You gonna make any more noise now? You finished? Okay, just want to make sure. All right, 7.65 is your FICA percentage. Until otherwise told, that's what you multiply. If in 2013, Jude earned $26,000 in wages and tips from her job, calculate the FICA, boom. Now, she also, and takes standard deduction, so subtract 10,000 from the 26,000, that'd be 25,000. So 25,000 is taxable income if she doesn't take anything else out. Okay, 26,000 minus 10,000. Oh, I said 1,000. I'm sorry. 10,000, which is 39 and 6,100. That's the standard deduction. So that would be 16,000, and then you would add the 16,000 plus the 1989. I mean, after you do go and run it through. Now, go ahead and look at the table that I gave you the other day. I don't know if I kept it. Let me see if I kept. Oh, I can't bring it in on this anyway. But from 4.9, 10% is on the first 8,925, and then her taxable 15 is going to be 16,000 minus 8,925, which is left 7,075, and therefore that's what she owes Uncle Sam, $1,954, and you're going to add that to your FICA. Okay. Now, you need to make a note of this. You need to write that down. You need to write how they're doing this, because that's where students get confused. 10%, 89.25. Your first 89.25 is at 10%. Then at 15%, you don't want to do 89.25 plus, up to 16,000, because then you'll be double what? You'll be double dipping. You'll be double paying on 89.25. So you got to subtract the 89.25, and that leaves 7,075 at 15%. So that's the important part. And if they were making more than 16,000, then you would subtract from the next bracket, and then whatever's left will go to the next bracket. You have to remember why you're doing this. And that 1954 plus the FICA, there you go. So she owes Uncle Sam $3,943, and that's what she owes Uncle Sam. Okay. Now, if you want to know her tax rate, then take 39.43 and divide it by 16,000. Or 26,000. Okay. I don't know why it did that. Okay, y'all figure it out. So she's paying about 15%, and I think this was the last thing we covered the other day. Okay. Now you need to remember that total tax that you owe Uncle Sam. I'm looking to see if they haven't replied yet. Says offline. Try it again. So that's the total tax owed to Uncle Sam divided by the gross income, and that gives you your percentage rate. And I think we talked about why I do 20%. That's usually if you come into some money and you come up to 20, if you get some money, how much does Uncle Sam get? Use 20%, and that's a good indication. Okay, so Xavier just dropped off the face of the earth. He texted me 3 times telling me he was going to Skype in, and now he just dropped off the face of the earth. Russians got him. That's what happened. All right.
So the 16,000 that you subtracted from the $8,925, where did the 16,000?
The 16,000 is taxable income. That's after you subtract the deductions and the
Was that given?
right here in the previous, right here. There it is. You with me?
Right, so after you do the 10% from, so when do you do the 10%? Sorry, I'm sorry.
All right, the last day or two, you just been out of it. I understand. No, I'll show you. Hold on just a second. Let me go to my handy dandy whiteboard. Oh, speaking of which, I got an announcement to make. Due to excessive emails sent to me the last couple of days, and y'all don't have a test right now, do you? No, so it's not y'all. So y'all are excluded. I'm going to make up a new bonus question. Okay? Now, of course, I've covered this material before, but the new bonus question is going to be, if I miss a test problem and the answer is just like mine, what should I do? That's going to be some kind of A, screen frantic. B, email Hubert several times with the final email saying, hello, as discussed second day, ask to speak with Hubert after class. Quiz school. All right, so if I miss a test problem and the answer is just like mine, what should I do? Hopefully you will know the answer is what? C. Do people just not listen or what? We discussed this, did we not? Remember when we went over the test the second day of class and I said this is a sample of the test, and then I said if you have the same answer you can challenge, you can see me after class or during office hours, but nobody goes during office hours anymore. Well, dinosaurs do, but most people don't have to do office hours anymore. But anyway, I get tired and I will not respond to that email. So that's why they said hello. I will not respond to it because I've already covered it. Just because you chose not to listen does not mean that I have to answer it. Okay. Now, Miss Slangs question. If I could find my styluses. Basically, you have your gross income, and this is what we covered the other day. It kind of had the boxes. Remember the boxes and the arrows? Your gross income. Okay, gross income, and you're going to add any other income to that. Now, when I say any other income, could that be dividends? Yes. Interest? Yes. Rental houses? Yes. Anything that comes into your, what did I say? Anything that comes into your what? Bank account. Anything that comes into your bank account is considered what? Income. I don't care if it's 15 cents from the interest that you gained on your savings account last year. Okay? That's income. All right? Now, once you get all of that, you subtract the deductions. Okay? Whatever deductions you're, wanting to deduct. All right? Now, most people do the federal deduction. That's what I do. Okay? I don't keep up with a lot of receipts. I barely have time to keep up with making my breakfast and my lunch, much less worrying about receipts. Now, that's just the way I am. Other people are not like that. Like my friend I told you about that makes his wife write down everything she buys. Everything. Okay? I'm not like that. I'm the spender, remember? I'm the guy that spends money. I don't save money. That's one of my weaknesses. I don't save money at all. Okay? If it weren't for that 401k, I don't know what I'd be. Anyway, in my retirement, because I can't mess with it. That's one good thing about retirement and 401ks. They make it to where you what? You can't touch it. And that's a good thing. Because with me, since I'm a spender, I'd be borrowing money off of it if I could. Well, I can, but I don't. Because it's too much paperwork, and I hate paperwork. So I'm cool with it. So that's a good thing. I ought to have gotten 5 401ks when I first started. But anyway, deductions. And then what that equals is your what? Taxable. I don't know how to spell taxable. Is that right? Taxable income.
Maybe ABLE?
Yes, I knew it didn't be right. Taxable income. And then that's what you send through the table. Okay, so once you go through that goes to 10%, 15%, and ... Okay. Now, you also got in here, your gross income also needs to be multiplied by the FICA. Also multiplied. I'm going to put an asterisk because it looks like an X if I don't. Okay, and then whatever you get, ... here, that's what you owe Uncle Sam. And you need to add that to your FICA. Now, where can tax credits come off? Right here. You put down here minus any what? Tax credits. Remember, the tax credits come off the what? The skinny person. All right? The coat comes off the skinny person. That makes more of a detriment to a coat coming off of a big person. So if you take it off here, it's just called a what? Deduction. The deduction is not as powerful as a tax credit. Okay? Does that help out a little bit? Okay. So, and what would really help is that if they had, well, I tell you what, let's do this. I don't know if I can do this or not, but I don't know if it's still on here or not. Let me see if it's still on here. Nope, it's not. Somebody restarted the computer. So what I'll do is I'll minimize this, pull up the PowerPoint, go back. There we go. Thing old hit, thing old snip. Snip. New. Tax code. Okay, go right ahead. All right, and then I'll take this, or where is my problem that we were doing? dang old Jude. Take this right here, snip. Things I do for y'all. And this is messed up because, okay, let me just do this. Save as tax code. Now take Whiteboard, put this up and go here and put in the tax code. And put that in. See, I think it's useless to give you an example and not have the tax code right there with the example. That's pretty stupid. But this book is stupid, so it doesn't surprise me then. Okay, now what you need to do is take this example and rewrite this example in a way that you can understand it using this table. Okay? In other words, you're single with no dependents or single whatever. You're using that one right there. You have $16,000. That is taxable income. Taxable income, TI. The first 89 is right there. 89.25 multiplied by 10% equals blank. And we know by the shortcut that's $892.50. Okay, then you've got more money. And so you take 16,000 minus 89.25 because you don't want to be overlapping on this. You don't want to pay twice on it. So that equals what they come up with, 7,075 at 0.15. And that's equal to a number. Now, you only have to go up to what? It says up to 36,000. Well, he don't make what? He ain't got the 16,000. So I can't go to the next bracket. You can't get blood out of what? Turnip. All right? If I go up to you and ask you for 20 bucks and you don't have any money, you can't hand me 20 bucks. You can't get blood out of a turnip. So, 15%, well, 10% would be 707.5, and half of 707 is, I have no idea. So, because it's sevens, and I can't divide sevens very well. So, somebody take 707.5 and multiply that by 15%. What do you get? Well, they got it up here. What is it? Okay, they don't have it. What is 15%? 0.15 times 70.75.
1,061.25.
So that equals 1954. There must be rounding it up. And that's fine. And that is what you owe Uncle Sam. All right? And you take that and you add that to your FICA, which, what was the FICA? Does anybody remember 1989 or something like that? What was it? Did y'all write it down?
Was it the 7.65? On the research, or is there just
FICA was 7.65 times 26,000. Let's do it. What is it? 26,000 times 7.65 or 0.0765.
19890.
19890. 1989. That's what I thought. And now that's what you owe Uncle Sam. And then that's going to be taken out of what your paycheck accumulation is. Now, let me go back over that. Somebody add that up. What do you get? That's $2,000 and $39.54. 39.40 something. What is it? I'm sorry, what? 39.43. Is that correct? All right. Well, you owe 39.43 in taxes. So next page. You owe Uncle Sam 39.43 in taxes. All right. She makes $26,000 a year, right? All right. There's 12 months in a year. She gets paid. Divide that by 24 checks. Somebody tell me what that is. $1,083. That's fine. $1,083. Now multiply that by 20%. Be $216. So about $216 of each per paycheck go toward what? Goes toward federal and state, right? Okay, so you take or federal. I multiply, but you do 10% for state if you want to do 10%. But anyway, 216 is going to federal. So multiply 216 by 24. What do you get? 2,000 times 24 checks is what? 184. So 5,200. She got 5,200. So she has paid 5,200 in payroll taxes. That's what you call pay. Remember you asked about quarterlies? That's what's called payroll taxes. I do that for each of my employees, and I send that to the state. I send it to the federal income tax. What is it called? Internal Revenue Service. I send it to them, and I send my check, and I pay them, and I pay that. I pay all that, and then they keep up with it and send you a W-2 form. Okay, 5,200. What was I going to make over here? In payroll taxes. Payroll taxes is a 25-cent word for which comes out of your check. All right. Then your employer, let's say this woman works at Michelin. Jude, she works at Michelin. Sends IRS a check for $5,200. After income tax deadline, Jude sends in her income tax at what? $39.43. Dot. 2 weeks. Jude gets check for what? When she gets a check, that means that Uncle Sam owes her money, so that means she pays more than what she owes. So somebody take 5,200 and subtract 39.43. $1,200 what?
57.
Dang old summer vacation money. That's what I use mine for. That's why I do it the way I do it. Because I wouldn't have no money to pull summer vacation. I did. All right. So she gets a check for $1,000. Now, this over here, this is just mental. This is what I do with my paycheck to try to figure out. Okay? Now, when I first started, I was married, and I was claiming 2 dependents, then somebody's hat was up.
Yeah, the teacher before said that somebody left it there, but it wasn't recognized either.
You know who that is? Xavier's. That's Xavier's hat. you know, he's got kidnapped all of a sudden. I don't know where he's not texting the guy. Okay, this is what I do. When I first started Tri-County Tech, I was married, had no children, all right? So I took out 2 dependents, and I also said, how much do I need to take out to make sure that I don't owe any money? And she suggested $40 a paycheck. I said, okay, do it. So I set up at $40 a paycheck, and plus I do 2 dependents. So not only do I get 2 dependents taken out, I get $40 taken out, and the 2 dependents is what sets my FICA and everything. Or not FICA, but the federal income tax that comes out. All right? So that's the maximum I could get come out of my paycheck. Then when I had 1 kid, I claimed 3 dependents, so I took out $50. No, I think I started with 30. And then when I had the first kid, it was $40, and then when I had the second kid, it was $50. So now what comes out of my bank account, or my check, is $50 and 3 dependents. Well, now it's 2 dependents because I don't have 1 dependent, just have 2. All right? So to make a long story short, have I changed it since I got a divorce? I've changed the dependents, but I haven't changed it to $50. Why? Because now that I give alimony and child support, that counts as income for her, but that's a deduction for me. So my taxable income goes what? Down. So that means I will get more plus the $50 will come out. And it's just a way that if you want to buy something every year for yourself or home repairs on your house or whatever, you can use that as money that you can't touch. And you'll have it in April or whenever you get your check back, you'll have it. I use it for summer vacation and for whatever I want to do to the house, or, you know, it's not a big check, but it's something that you can use. Okay? This year I had to buy a car for my dog. So that's why, you know, I used it for that. And a few other things. But anyway, that's, you can't, what's the first thing in this chapter that I told everybody? And you have to be what? What's blank? You have to be blank about your finances. You have to be aware. All right? Why do you think they don't teach this in high school? So you don't know. And y'all think I'm a conspiracy theory? This should be taught in every single class at Westside High School in Hannah or whatever in high school. It should be taught in every single math class. It should be instilled in your brain when you get out. So therefore, when you get a job at McDonald's or whatever, you say, look, I have 2 kids. I know I'm in high school, but I have 2 kids. I want to claim 3 dependents, or I want to claim 0 dependents. Okay? Being aware is knowing your choices. And that's what you need to know. So, the more dependents you claim, the more comes out of what? The more money comes out of what? Comes out of your paycheck. The less dependents, the less money comes out of your paycheck. Now, it depends on what you want. You want to be paid now or paid later. Since I'm a spender, I want to be paid later. But if you're a saver, then it doesn't matter. It all depends on what you are. I didn't even know it was there. All right. Being aware. Not only being aware of your finances, but being aware of your taxes also. That's key. And that's why when I talked about what's going on in the news right now, y'all was like, If people stay stupid, they're easier to what? Control. Fool. That's why people don't want you watching the news. That's why people don't want you being in current events. That's why people don't want you to know this stuff. Because the more stupid they make you, the better it is to control you. And I firmly believe that. I think it's very true. I think our history proves that. In the United States. It proves that. Question. Great. Complaint.
On the dependent things, my husband's an overall working, so we should have one dependent?
He should be 2 if he wants more money coming out.
We're savers,
So it doesn't matter then.
okay.
So if you want to make sure, see, and I'm also one of these people, I was in the military, so I know what happens when you owe the government money. They want it right then. And I don't like that. And I don't like to be audited. So I like to make sure that I've got a good overlap. So it's kind of, when you have to owe, and I grew up, my dad, I love my dad, okay? But he wasn't the best manager of money. I suck at it. He really sucked at it. All right? He would end up owing the IRS every year. Okay? And I couldn't handle that because he would have to go through audit, and then he'd have to do I couldn't handle that. So what I did is when I started making a paycheck, I wanted to make sure that I didn't owe anybody anything. I want the government owing me. Now, I may not get it in 2 or 3 weeks, but it's better than wanting right then and there. So, if you know of something that happened in your past like that, or heaven forbid you have to owe the federal government, things might change. You might change the way things are done. Now, I'm going to have to think all over again, and I'm going to have to meet with my accountant person because I don't do this. There's no way in Hades I would do this because, again, I don't want to have to worry about it. I've hired somebody to take the fall if my income taxes are not right. That's something my dad did say. Since we both suck at it, you better make sure you pay somebody to do it. And I do. But with this new system that they're supposed to be coming up with, you should be able to do it by yourself. Will I? No. I will still give it to my accountant because I don't want to owe the government anything. But they have tried to make it to where it'll fit on one big index card. And it's got lines over here, and you fill out those lines, and boom, you're done. You send it in. And I think that's great. They've also, as I told you, they've also taken the code down from, how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've taken this one out and made it 12%. Taking this one out, I think it's 26%. I don't know. I'm going by memory, and then I think this one is like at 34%. And then everybody is screaming. Everybody's screaming, oh, we're going into trillions of dollars debt. You didn't worry about that in the last 8 years. When you took it up to $14 trillion, you wasn't worried about it then. But anyway, everybody's saying, oh, we're going to go into the. No, what we're going to do is this gives you more money for your what? For your pocket. Then you're going to go out and you're going to buy stuff. Now, some of us will save some of it, some of us won't. You're talking about $600 to $1,000 a year for a normal type family, anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000 a year. All right, so you get somewhere between $600 and $1,200 to $1,500, $1,500 a year. Well, what about me? I only make $10,000. Well, did you give anything to the kitty? No, because you don't have to pay until you get to, I think this is 12%, $12,000, and $24,000 here. So if you make $10,000, you don't have to pay what? You don't have to pay any taxes. All right? It's just like if you buy 9 beers, if you go out and drink beers, and the executives pay for the beers, and there's 3 janitors there, and the janitors don't make enough money to pay for the beers. The janitors don't pay for the beers, and they spread it out all above the executive. When they get a discount, you think the janitors are going to get some of that discount? No, because they're not paying for the beer. Okay? So, it also, you buy stuff. If you buy stuff, that means that businesses are going to make what? They're going to go up. Businesses are going to go up. The economics are going to go up. If the economics are going to go up, then the economy goes up. Okay? And of course, the other side says, well, you're giving the rich doesn't have, they're paying 40% or 34%. Yeah, it is giving them a little bit of break, but it's also giving the rest of us a break. All right? Why shouldn't they get a little bit of a break too? And it's also given, I think, dropping the business tax from 35% down to what? 20%. Now, what is that going to do? That's going to help businesses, what? Grow and come back to the United States, which will entail hiring more what? People. You hire more people, then more people get money in their pocket, and more people get, wow, health care, and more people get what? Insurance. Wow, what a concept.
Would that help get people off of that? Minimize that?
That would do that. Well, why do you think people don't want this? You said it, I did.
How does the government make any money on the states that don't have income tax?
What?
So what does the government do with those states that don't have income tax?
I thought all states had
There's
income
7 of them
tax.
that don't.
Oh, I don't know. I think they do the state and local tax.
Like the sales tax.
Yeah. Yeah. They did. You rob Peter to pay Paul. They're gonna get it somehow, some way or the other. The whole point is, in the last 10 years, we've quadrupled to a $20 trillion budget, which went up, I think, $7 to $10 trillion in the last 8 years. This is going to be $1.2 trillion. Why are we worried about $1.2 trillion when we just increased it $7 to $10 trillion in the last 10 years? It's kind of like worried about your bank account after you just spent $100,000. Oh, I'm worried about my $15 deposit.
We're permanently in debt. So
Pretty much, you're right. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it is broke, then what? Maybe we need to fix it. We got a lot of people that are unemployed. We got a lot of people that do not have health insurance, do not have any kind of life insurance, don't have any kind of insurance. And and the whole time during the last so many years, I've been wondering, why don't people just get jobs? Well, they don't get jobs because they're what? There aren't any, because they're all moving overseas. Well, they're moving overseas because they don't want to pay a what? A $35 business tax. We are the highest nation in business taxes, the highest nation in the world in business taxes, because of our DA politicians. We have the highest business taxes in the world, yes.
we're still in
Japan is like 18%. And for every one of their cars that they sell here, we have to pay. For every one of our cars that we sell there, guess what? They don't pay squat. Again, politicians up in Washington have made these deals.
I guess if whoever we're in debt to is never going to come to life, then I guess we're going to do it.
Well, that's a long, complicated deal. And it's not all China. There's a lot of different China, Japan, South Korea. There's a lot of our friends. Well, China's kind of a cold friend. But anyway, there's a lot of our friends that hold the money. But we have a lot of money that we need from other people too, like Saudi Arabia. But we're not going there. But anyway, that's why you need to be aware. And I'm not sitting here trying to say, you need to be, I'm not saying you need to do anything. All you got to do is die and pay taxes. The only thing I'm saying is you need to be aware, period. And this thing of, oh, I don't want to watch news because it's depressing. It's called life, people. Get with the program. Okay? I get so sick of hearing that. Oh, well, I'll just ignore my bills when they come and they'll go away. It's not real life. I'll just ignore the news and it'll go away. Good luck with that. Good luck with ignoring stuff. See how that works out for you. You're fired. Oh, I really didn't want to. I didn't want to meet with you because I felt like I would get in trouble, and I just really didn't want to meet with you. Okay, you're fired. Snowflake theory does not work. Period. Dividends. We talked about this the other day. I'm not going to talk about this too much because we don't never worry about this. I don't unless y'all are buying corporations and buying lots of stocks and pork bellies and or concentrated orange juice. I don't think y'all have to worry too much about capital gains. But you need to be aware of it. So if you wasn't here yesterday, be aware of the capital gains. That's when you, like, you own Staples, you own it and you sell it for $600 billion, then that's special tax treatment because you're going to be taxed on $600 billion. But what if I make that sale in Switzerland and keep it in a Swiss bank account? Wow.
Do you ever do anything with stocks?
I do. They got 4 legs and eat grass.
Well,
That's it. I tried to stop, but I don't. It's if they could make it to where, when they have, I think they have with E-Trade and stuff like that, where you could sell and buy a whole lot quicker, then yes. But I don't have the patience to do that. I have the patience to watch a cow grow or a pig grow. I have that patience. But I don't have the patience to look at the paper every day and see and watch all these business. I can't stand Fox Business Network. I can't stand it. It's so boring.
if you buy enough stocks in the company, you can just hold it from
Yeah.
whatever you want to.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, if you own 51%.
Big video game companies will buy each other out.
Oh, yeah.
Shut each other down.
Well, they do that with banks. Banks are doing that. That's why all these big banks now. I will not go to a big bank.
Just whoever wants the money to buy that much stocks to get rid of it.
Yeah. But it's the game. They play a game. And if you watch any of these movies, what was the movie that the guy bought a lot of stuff? No, I don't watch them. It was another one where he just bought stuff, and then he ended up, buying somebody's company or whatever. It's one of them. I'll think of it eventually. But anyway, that's where the capital gains tax. So you need to be aware of it in case somebody ever runs that across of you. Or if you hear it on the news, when was the last time you heard about capital gains in an election? Romney. When Romney ran against Obama, they were giving him a hard time about his capital gains. Why? Because he owns many companies, and he sells and buys and does that with companies like y'all do with pencils. Okay? He buys companies and sells them. So, wish I could think of that movie. I can't think of it right now. Tax deferred savings plan. We talked about this. IRAs and 401ks, they're tax deferred. Okay? That means you can put money toward them before taxes. And that's a good thing because you don't see the money come out of your paycheck as bad. I never see this 401k money come out because it's before taxes. Okay? All right, look at this one. Suppose you are single, have a taxable income of $65,000 and make monthly payments of $500 to a tax-deferred savings plan. How do the tax-deferred savings contribution affect your monthly take-home pay? Well, I'm just going to show it to you. Your marginal tax rate is 25%. Each $500 contribution reduces your tax bill by $125. Okay? So write that down. You multiply, since you make $65,000, you're at the 25% rate. Again, I can't show you that table because they don't have it with the example. They should. But that third or fourth rate is 25%. That's where you place. Notice it says taxable what? So that means you don't have to make any more deductions. So you might be saying, what about the standard deduction? If it says taxable income, they've already done what? They've already subtracted and added all they need to. That's the taxable income. So you're sitting at 25%. So if you take those payments out, that's going to save you $125. And while $500 goes to your tax deferred savings account, your paycheck goes down by only $375. Okay? Like I said, you don't miss it that much because it comes out before what? Before taxes. That's it for that one. Like I said, that was stuff we went over the other day. Hold on just a minute. Let's go to 4E. Well, that ain't what I wanted to go over. What is for managing money, understanding the federal budget? All right, write down these. Again, why? Well, one, you're going to be tested on these, especially these. But you also, when you hear about it in the news, write those down. Receipts or income. That's income coming into the federal budget. When you pay your taxes, that's money coming in. That's income for the federal budget. While you're writing that down, I want to bring something up that some of you may not be aware of. Probably not, because you don't watch news and you don't know about stuff like that. So, where is freeze? While you're writing that down, I'm going to pull up something that you should be aware of. Oh, it's depressing. No, it's not. No. This has to do with taxes. And this is from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, so it's not something that I made up. Is it raining? I can't see. I was hoping it rained. I love rain. I think it's supposed to really storm Sunday. I hope it storms the rest of the week. I love thunderstorms. As long as it don't mess with the direct. That's what I can't handle. That's why I love my phone. Because when the power goes out, I still got my phone.
Rain's good. So don't make you wash the car. So you should have thrown back out the road.
Yeah. That's true. All right. I'll go back to this before we get started and not finish right, because I know some of y'all write real silly. There's the USDA debt clock. Again, this is one of those things that is pushed in the trash because you don't want to see it, because if you don't acknowledge it, it might go away. It doesn't. $20 trillion national debt. And in this area, what?
The population go up and down.
Yeah. Here's Medicare, domestic product. The green is what's coming in. Okay? Total revenue, U.S. federal revenue, that's coming in. Income tax revenue, that's coming in. You know why there's a lot of red? How many people work at DHEC? How many people work at the Environmental Protection Agency? How many people work at Internal Revenue Service? How many people work in Washington, D.C.? How is it increased in the last 30, 40, 50 years, or has it decreased? It's increased 3 or 4-fold. The more government officials you got, the more red you get. You got to be aware. I guarantee you some of y'all just graduated high school and never knew this existed.
We want to look down in
You did?
government classes.
Wow. Good for whoever that was.
You wanted to show us the population going up and down on the content. Over there on the right.
Oh, so he didn't even... He didn't even say anything about the national debt.
We looked at it too, but that was what we were all looking at.
Oh, okay. Now, what's good about this is you can go up here, and this is where you can be more aware of your country. Go over here to debt clock in the past. And this is where things get interesting. Let's go to 2000. 2000, the national debt was $5 trillion. Now, $5 trillion is good. That's normal, okay? Usually a nation as big as the United States, that's moderate.
It's going down.
Then, let's go back to, that's 2000, 2004, only up $2 trillion. Okay, just wait. Then 2008, $3 trillion. But look what happens after 2008. $6 trillion. And then by 2017, $20 trillion. So in the last 8 years, it's gone from $7 billion to $20 trillion. I mean, $7 trillion to $20 trillion.
So basically, it's all about this.
I didn't say
Our
that.
president,
I said the last 8 years. What was the Republicans doing? What was the Democrats doing? They were just making the DHEC bigger, making the bioprotection, making the stupid deals, giving Iran $1.5 billion.
we need to fire all these idiots and replace them with.
That's what draining the swamp means.
If you go to the 2021,
2021,
We look at the future.
22. It's not going up as much. Wonder why? Well, one thing is the GDP is going up. For every point the GDP goes up, the United States brings in $1.5 trillion. Did you know that? Yeah. So, if right now, now again, this is nothing but you being a waiter. All right? If you go to your whiteboard, you might want to get your calculators out because this will be some very hard math here. I'm kidding you. All right? When took office, the GDP was at 1.5% pretty much. 1.5 GDP. Okay, GDP is basically how your economics is going in the U.S. or your country. Japan is usually around 6 to 8%. China is usually around 6 to 8%. They drop below 5%, they start to make changes. Okay? For the last 15 years, we've been at 1.5 GDP. So since the recession, we've never come out of the recession. People say we have, but we haven't. Because GDP is at 1 point. That was in January. January of 2017. Okay? Right now, it's at 3.4%. And it continues to go. Now, how much is this? Somebody take 1.5. Basically, you're talking about 1.9, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
So, take 1.9 and multiply that by 1.5. Let's see, that'd be. I got to figure out my zeros. All right, that's a million, that's a billion, that's a trillion, right? All right, multiply that out. What do you get? What's 1.9? Okay, just tell me how many zeros it is and give me the numbers in front. 2.85, and then how many zeros?
It's got you as a full power.
Okay, e to what?
12.
Times e to the 12th power, which means 285 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
It's the same number as yours, it's only one number.
So that's a million, that's a billion. So that brings up, it comes up to basically 3 trillion. 2.85 is 3 trillion. So that's 3 trillion that can go toward what? The deficit, Hubert, the deficit. All right, now, one more thing. Let's say that we get to 6.5, like all the other nations in the world are doing, except for Greece and Venezuela, because they're socialist, not socialist, but close to it. What's 6.5? That's 5 points. Multiply 5 times 1.5 trillion. What do you get? What does it come out to be? 7.5 times what? Times 10 to the 12th?
Yeah.
So that's $8 trillion that can go to the national debt, which will bring it down to 12 trillion. Okay? Now, that's not even talking about the trade things that when bringing your American companies back to the United States, that's not even counting that. That's just GDP. So, you got to be aware of this stuff. Now it's 22 trillion. Oh, I'm sorry, 22 trillion was in 2021. But in only, 4 years, it's only gone up $2 trillion. So, evidently, there's a trend that you see with the national debt for the next 4 years. It's not going to go up as much as it did the last 10 years.
Does that 35% business tax mean that all money they make, 35% of it goes to taxes?
Yes. So what that means is businesses, now that's small businesses as well as large businesses like Michigan. But small businesses like Slangs Daycare for dogs, okay? If she opens a daycare, she gets that 20% just like Michelin does. Because it's a business. Because you have to get a federal ID number when you become a business, you have to get a federal tax ID. That federal tax ID says that she pays 20% on her taxes that comes through that business. So people that pay $20 a day for that $20 a day for their dog is going to be taxed through her at 20% because that's income to her coming in.
Yes, it makes sense to some countries or some businesses overseas.
When they have 15% and the 20%, yeah. See, if you're not aware of this stuff, when you hear it on the news, you're like, yeah, they're trying to give everything to the businesses. But you got to be aware of it. You got to educate yourself on it. Question. Right, complaint. All right, let's look and see what the next concept is. Now that you know what the debt clock looks like. All right, we'll worry about this. I thought they were going to do more terms. We'll worry about this tomorrow when y'all come back or whatever. This is talking about where all the income goes when you give it to the. We'll worry about this later, okay? All right, who's got questions? Any questions?